What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of the Breakdown Sportscast. I'm your good friend and host, Kory Willis. I hope everyone is having a great Friday, getting ready to, finish all of your duties during the work week and getting ready for some college football out there. So, yeah, I hope everyone is having a great day. As always, we appreciate you guys listening in on the show. As always, we're on many different streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Amazon Music, and Amazon Audible, iHeartRadio, and many other streaming platforms out there. So feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the show, guys. It helps us know what we're doing and how we can improve the show for the future for you guys. So as always, we very much appreciate you guys' support with the show. As always, you know who I'm with. I am with my good friend and co-host. Just survived what was a big storm in Hurricane Milton out there in Florida. So best wishes out there. If you're listening to the show, we definitely have best wishes for you all. But I'm here with my good friend and co-host. He is Chris Bolton. Chris, what's going on, my man? How's everything going?
Everything's good. Feeling great. Weathered the storm, everything's smooth. So no complaints, on my end. And I'm ready to talk about a weekend of college football that's been on the radar of everybody who loves college football since the schedules were released. That is this weekend.
Yes, sir. Indeed. This is I should say this is a very interesting week 7 in college football. I should say, Chris. Look, this was going to be the week that we thought last week was going to be. We thought last week was going to, have all of his twists and turns. It was going to be like a roller coaster. But no, last week was like, no, let me show you how to.
No, seriously. So we can only imagine what's in store for us this week. Will it be a little quieter, a little more calm, or will it be just as crazy? I got a feeling it might be just as crazy.
Yes, it may very well be that way. So yeah, man, it's definitely a really good slate this week in week 7, Chris. I mean, a lot of good games out there. I mean, some people I've listened to. Greg McElroy from ESPN earlier this week, his show, Chris, he was talking about how, some of these games, one in particular we'll get to in the show a little bit later, can have college football playoff implications.
Hey, we'll see. That could be the case.
Yeah. Which just shows you how, knee deep in the season we are in. I mean, we're in week 7 already, feel like it was just yesterday we were in week 1, week 2, but we're already in week 7. So we're already talking about playoff implications right now. So, it is big.
It is big. Like you said, we're really approaching the halfway point of the season. And so these games matter. They matter a lot. Knee deep in conference play. So this is what it's all about. And for a couple of teams, to continue to bolster their resume and make the case for the playoff, these are must-win games. And we have a matchup in particular we'll get into that. I feel like this game is a must-win for both of those teams. But yeah, no, this is a big weekend for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Indeed, it is. So, yeah, man. It's going to be a great week. I mean, we can go ahead and go down the list of some of the big games we have this week. We don't want to hold y'all too long. But, yeah, man, this is a great week. And what a way to kick it off, Chris, by having the Red River Shootout in Dallas, Texas, between Texas and OU this weekend. That's a big one, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it's always just one of those games, man. You can't beat Texas Oklahoma the Red River Shootout. I know they try to change the name up of the game, but it's gonna always be the shootout. As long as we're doing this podcast.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, this is going to be a big game between Texas and OU. Oklahoma, have had some, issues, of course, this year, especially at the quarterback position with Jackson Arnold. At first he was the guy, and then, he had to get set on the bench. And, now we have Hawkins Jr. out there, taking the reins at quarterback for OU. So, having him and then also having Quinn Ewers back this week. I know Steve Sarkisian, he's been very bullish in the news. He's very much has, put his foot on the ground and saying that Quinn Ewers will start this week for the Texas Longhorns. So, man, this is going to be a great game for both teams right now. I'm looking at the line, Chris, and Vegas has Texas as a 14.5-point favorite to win this football game. So, and the ESPN has them at 85.1% to also win the football game down there in Dallas, Texas. So, man, this is a big game. I think Texas has this game nipped in the bud. I think there's just going to be too much for the Sooners. The defense for Oklahoma, I think, is pretty good. We're going to be interested in seeing, how long they can hang in a game with this many 4 and 5 stars out there on offense. With guys like Blue at running back and Isaiah Bunn, we know what he can do. But just, this potent offense for Texas, I think, is going to be a little bit too much for Oklahoma. And I'm looking for Texas to win this game. But I'm interested in seeing what your thoughts on this game will be, Chris. What are you thinking heading into this game on Saturday?
I'm feeling like Texas should dominate. Based off what we've seen from Texas, especially a Texas team led by Quinn Ewers and the performance they put together at Michigan against, it's kind of a similar matchup, with Oklahoma and Michigan, two teams that have had their offensive struggles, but, have had to rely on their defenses to get them to, this point in the season. And Oklahoma's defense came through clutch, getting the pick six that gave them the win at Auburn. They'll need this defense to continue to get interceptions and put points on the board as a defense. If they really want to have a chance to win this game. I think that will be key if they are in this game, that this defense actually did score and steal a possession, steal some points. And but yeah, Oklahoma, it doesn't look well for them on paper. It doesn't look good for them on paper. Their chances of winning this game to me. Just based on the overall resume of both teams this season, Texas has been much more impressive in wins and in games, even like that the Mississippi State game. I know they struggled some, but even their struggles look better than Oklahoma's wins. The Oklahoma's peak doesn't even touch Texas's, their floor play, honestly. And so, the only thing that makes this kind of a toss-up in my eyes is the fact that it is a rivalry game. And anything can happen. So, can Oklahoma play up to the moment and put together their best game of the season? That will be necessary to knock off this Texas team. Will they? I don't think so. Can they? It's possible. I'm not going to say it's not possible because at the end of the day, it is a rivalry game. So anything can happen, is liable to happen. But I feel confident in saying that Texas will win this ball game. And I'll even say Texas should cover as well. I think Texas wins by at least 17 points. They might end up running away with this thing and win by 20 plus.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, partner. Man, I think this Texas team is on a mission this year. Sark. Every week I hear him on the press conference, Chris. I mean, he's always locked in. I know you've heard him too. He's always locked
Mhm.
in. He knows the mission at hand. He knows that a loss against OU. A lot of people around this area won't be too happy at all.
This OU team,
Yes.
respectfully, like this isn't that good of a team, honestly.
Right. So yeah, man. He definitely knows what needs to be done in order for the Longhorns to win this ball game. So yeah, no, I'm with you 100%, Chris. I think OU's going to definitely try to give it a go. They're going to give it about as best of a game that they are going to give UT, but I think overall Texas is just going to be too much for them offensively and defensively as well. I mean, we have to credit out to their defense. They have a lot of great players on that defensive line and just their defense in general. So yeah, I'm I'm with you 100%. I think Texas is going to be the top dog in this year's Red River Shootout game. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I agree. I mean, honestly, wish Oklahoma had played better because I feel like then we can go a little more in depth on this game. But I really think it's kind of cut and dry, Kory, and even more so with seeing how Tennessee lost to Arkansas. It takes a little bit of the luster away from that close game in the sense that Oklahoma they were competing. They were battling with Tennessee. We thought Tennessee would beat them worse, and Oklahoma played a solid game, and was within range. But I think some of the luster in that performance is kind of taken off with how Arkansas beat Tennessee. So we'll really learn a lot about Oklahoma in this game if they can step it up a notch and put their best foot forward, and it'll be enough against Texas. But I just don't see it being so.
Yeah. No, no, you're right. You're right. Yeah. Any other year, if OU actually had a better looking offense, in years past, I would say, hey, maybe there's a chance, in there that they can, actually do something. But man, I just don't think they're going to be able to do anything in this game. And Burks is out, their top receiver for OU. That was just announced, as we're recording this on a Thursday evening earlier today that was announced that he wasn't going to be playing in this game. So, that's a big blow for OU.
Yes, it is. Because they need everybody healthy.
Right.
And they haven't been healthy at all this year either. So that's part of their problem too. You can't get you guys that you need on the field. So this is what it looks like when you're battling the injury bug too, along with not having things figured out.
Right. So yeah, man. Yeah, it's unfortunate. We would like to see a more competitive Red River rivalry game, but if you're a Texas fan right now, I mean you're happy right now. you don't care about those guys up north.
You good. You are just fine with how things are. And I think most Texas fans feel confident. But there's always going to be that little feeling that it's like it is a rivalry game. It is Oklahoma, so hey, you never know. But I feel like as a Texas fan, this is as confident as you'll feel going into this matchup in the years of the Texas, of the Red River Shootout rivalry game.
Yeah, no, I get what you mean, man. Well, yeah, I mean, I can't wait to watch this game. It's going to be another SEC on ABC game.
It's the first time it's an SEC game.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see that because it's gonna be interesting and like weird in a funny way because we're gonna like, man, I remember watching this game. This was a Big 12 matchup of epic proportions. Now you can just see that SEC logo on near the 20. And you just Just laughing now.
It's weird because it goes from being the biggest Big 12 game of the season to, I'm not gonna say just another SEC game, but it doesn't have that big game feel of most big game SEC games.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that is just that is the thing.
I think it's a byproduct of Oklahoma not being Oklahoma this year.
I think that is. I think that is it. I won't call it an issue from the SEC's point of view. I mean, these two teams being in the SEC makes the SEC even stronger than they already were. So.
It makes a lot of sense.
Yes,
money sense too.
Yes, it does. So, I bet you, Dale Dimmadome and all those guys are gonna be, making money right now. Whether you work for the SEC or not.
Dale Dimmadome.
Yep.
Owner of the Dale Dimmadome. Yeah. Jerry gonna get that paper for sure.
Exactly. So yeah, man. Yeah, this is going to be a great matchup between two storied teams, but I think overall the Longhorns have this game nipped in the bud this weekend. So should be a great game, a great day overall if you're out there in the Cotton Bowl. Where they'll be playing the game. So yeah, man. So it should be a fun one. But yeah, Chris. Anything overall any lasting things you want to mention about this game before we move on to the next game?
Nothing else to say. Everybody at the Cotton Bowl, just good luck fighting off the bugs.
Exactly. Oh man. So yeah, man, it should be a great game indeed. Well, all right, Chris. Well, from the Cotton Bowl, we are now going to shift gears. And we're going to go to Eugene, Oregon. Yes, sir. Yes, we're going to the Oz and Sue, my friend. Where the Oregon Ducks are going to host Ohio State this weekend. That should be a great game, Chris. I mean, this is we talk about the Red River Shootout, but we talk about this game, in Eugene at the Oz and Zoo, Ohio State, Oregon. This is a big game right now. Texas has Ohio State as a 3.5 point favorite to win this ball game. I mean, we've kind of talked about Ohio State, here and there on the show. I know I talked about them on the last show that we had, where Ohio State is quietly being that team that's just whipping up on people. I mean, you can say what we can say about, the strength of schedule for Ohio State, but, they just been putting a pounding on people week to week. So, I wanted to, they, quietly, letting that frustration out each week. If you're Ryan Day, if, Oregon's going to be that victim that, they're looking to, take out to the trash right quick. What are your thoughts overall with this game? Because I think this is going to be another fun one in the Big Ten this week.
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup. I don't know if it has the billing that we had anticipated it having in the preseason, just because Oregon has had their struggles and Ohio State has been, like you said, quietly whooping people.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still a big matchup. I'm very curious to see how this game plays out, because maybe this is the game that Oregon wakes up. They have something to really play up for, to play up to. A top team, number 2 team in the country, the team that you're looking at. We're battling it out to win the conference. So you need to win this game. You're at home. You'll have the fans. They'll be juiced up. The energy will be there. So if you can't get up and ready for this game, you just ain't going to get up and ready for any game this season. So this is the one that should bring out Oregon's best. I'm curious to see if Oregon's best is good enough to beat Ohio State. And will it bring out the best in Ohio State? Because, Ohio State has been beating up some teams, but they also have kind of been on cruise control too, I think, to an extent, Kory. So I'm ready to see how this plays out. Uh, this could be the game that really puts Jeremiah Smith on the radar nationally. You know, we all know how great of a talent he is. Top receiver recruit coming out of high school, and he's been doing his thing. He's been playing great, but I think this is a national matchup. This is the game of the week in a sense. Two versus the number 2 team in the nation versus number 3 team. So this is the game of the week. Smith can put on the show, and I think Ohio State needs him to put on the show to come away victorious on the road in this matchup. So that's going to be huge for them. And also, I want to see if Dylan Gabriel can he lead his Ducks offense to converting and finishing drives. They've been putting up yards this season. Can they finish these drives and put up points against a stout Ohio State defense, very talented defense? So there's a lot going on in this matchup. Overall, though, Kory, I have to pick a team to win. I'm gonna go with the team that I feel like has played more consistent, better football for the entirety of the season, and that's Ohio State.
Okay.
I think Ohio State gets the win on the road in a hostile environment. Okay. It's not going to be easy by any means. And I wouldn't be shocked if Oregon won. And you honestly would think they should win playing at home. That's going to be huge when you have two talented teams. Both teams are very talented. It's just one team has a home field advantage. But I think Ryan Day, this, like you said, this is the revenge tour, the revenge season. And nothing would silence the doubters more besides a win over Michigan, but then a win over Oregon at Oregon. That'll be huge. Traveling across the country, it's going to be a lot of travel time going from Ohio to Oregon and getting your team, rallying them to play some great football on the road against a team like Oregon. That's how you continue to silence the naysayers and the doubters. So I'm going to go with Ohio State to get the win.
Nice, man. I definitely know where you're coming from with this. I mean, Ohio State, they went hard in the paint during the offseason with recruiting, in the transfer portal. They're looking to make a name for themselves and showcase why, they have never left from this college football playoff conversation. I think a lot of these guys saw last year and saw how, much that, they lost their grasp on getting a playoff spot last season. And, now they're pissed off. They're pissed off for Ryan Day. They're looking to make a name for themselves this weekend. This isn't going to be, I think, a just, walk in the park easy game. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, playing at Austin Stadium, it gets loud there. They're going to have to work for it. But I think they have the guys that can take them there to that next level to win a ball game as important as this game. So I am looking at Ohio State and winning the ball game as well. So I think from what we've seen from both teams, from Oregon, from Ohio State, I just think there's a little bit more consistency there with the Buckeyes than the Ducks. Just a lot of little pitter-pattering around these last couple of weeks for Oregon. I mean, we're just being honest. I mean, even if you're a fan of Oregon, you've kind of seen it the last several weeks. You're kind of looking for them to turn on those Jets because we know that they can do it. But we yet to really see that. So yeah, I'm really looking at Ohio State as being that team that's going to control this ball game throughout the day. Like I said, it won't be easy, but I think they have the team to actually do it and showcase why they are the number 2 team in the land. So yeah, man.
Yeah, yeah, I'm right there with you. Ohio State, they have what it takes. You got guys like Caleb Downs, you got guys like Judkins, Travion, what he brings to the table on the ground game. Smith. Um, I mean, the wide receiver core is loaded. Will Howard has all these weapons to his disposal. So Ryan Day can scheme up great scoring opportunities. The play caller that he is and the offensive mastermind he is. So it's right there for Ohio State. But I'm sure Oregon and Ryan and just the kind of football that they play. They want to be hard nosed and they want to punish people too. I'm curious to see if they get that running game going because I think that will be big for Oregon is if they can establish the run. If you can keep this Ohio State offense off the field, get the running game going. Dan Lanning, his personality. I feel like he's try to feed into this O line, this group. If he can get them going, and they establish the run, and they can run for at least 150 yards this game. That might be the stat that tells you how things go for Oregon. If they can hit that 150 plus clip, that will favor them very well in this matchup.
Yeah, man. No, I definitely get what you're saying, man. It's going to be a battle between both of these teams, man. Both of these heavyweight teams, like that. We're going to have to see a complete game from Oregon this weekend. Will we see it? Well, the jury's still out.
Jury's still out. I'm going to go Ohio State wins by 7.
Okay.
30. I'm going to say 35-28.
Okay. 35-28. Yeah. Vegas has OSU as a 3-point favorite, or 3.5-point favorite in this game. So I'm going to go with the Buckeyes 31, Oregon 28.
That wouldn't shock me either. I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think it's going to be a close game the whole way through, Kory.
Yeah, I think ultimately it will be. I think Oregon will play up to their opponent because last week they've been playing down to their opponents.
Yeah, they might even get up to. I can even see this playing out with Oregon getting to an early lead.
Mm-hmm.
And Ohio State has to claw their way back to get the win.
Yeah,
I can see that happening. Like I can really see Oregon juiced up playing some ball. It's like, oh, this is what we've been waiting for. They finally, getting to it. It's just a matter, can they sustain it?
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, man. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen this Saturday. This game on NBC and Peacock, so I can't wait to see what happens this coming Saturday. So yeah.
All right.
Nice.
Big time matchup.
Yes, sir.
Let's see who can take control of the Big Ten. It's so crazy to say, man. Oregon in the Big Ten now.
It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I mean, you got Ohio State, like poor guys, they gotta go all the way out to Eugene, Oregon. Hang around Phil Knight and the gang. So it's so crazy. So crazy to see that.
It is crazy. It's insane.
Oh man. Yeah, it is. It is. But it's life in college football now with realignments and stuff. So, oh man, but yeah, Chris. Anything else you want to add to this game before we move on?
No, sir.
All right. Well, now we are going to move on to another interesting game, Chris. We're now going to go out into the Big 12 conference, where I think this is a sleeper of a game. You have number 16 Utah. The Utes are going to Tempe, Arizona, to take on the Arizona State Sun Devils. unranked Arizona State. Have not been ranked at all. We're going to see what's going to happen after this week. But the Arizona State Sun Devils, Chris, they're 4-1, 1-1 in conference play. The only loss that they've had is against Texas Tech, a really good Texas Tech team. A Texas Tech team that's number 1 in the division or in the conference right now, all together.
Yeah.
So yeah, man, this is a really good Arizona State team that is still trying to find themselves this season with that one loss against Texas Tech. I think Arizona State can do it, man. Look, they don't have much of a passing game, but man, when they go out there and they let Scatterbo run the ball about 25 to 30 times on you, that will wear you out. I don't think Utah is ready for this. Just to be honest with you, I don't think they're ready for this. I might be wrong. I might be off, but I think Arizona State is a maybe not great team, but I think they can get you.
They're a frisky team.
Yeah, they are. They're a frisky team out there in college football. So yeah, man, I'm looking for Arizona State to potentially win this ball game. Vegas has Utah as a 3-point favorite to win. So, it's not high. So, there's room right there for, an Arizona State team to potentially win. So, I'm eager to hear what your thoughts are about this game, Chris, because when I saw this on the schedule, I was like, ooh, that's one of those BYU type feeling games.
Yeah.
Right?
No,
am I wrong to say that?
And, with the way Utah plays, they've been scrapping out wins, but they haven't been impressive.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't been impressive. And then Cam Rising can't stay healthy to save his life.
No, he can't.
He can't stay healthy. And it feels like, honestly, it could be Arizona State's year. I mean, that Texas Tech loss is not a bad loss by any means. Texas Tech is legit.
Yeah, they're a really good team.
It's a very underrated team. People aren't talking about Tech enough. So I'm with you. I think Arizona State, the way they run this football, Scatterbo, what he brings to the table, and he inflicts pain when running the ball. He is tough to bring down. Defenders pay for it for every tackle that they earn when tackling Scatterbo.
I've seen it. You've seen it. We've both seen it.
So, I think Arizona State has the recipe in the makings to pull off this upset. This is a pretty even matchup in my eyes, honestly, because Utah just isn't a prolific offensive team. So, and Arizona State, they can really dominate the time of possession, the clock in this game. It's the reason Utah's only a 3-point favorite. This is a very, very even matchup. I lean towards Arizona State, with them also having the home field advantage too. That's going to be critical to this matchup. That's going to be the loudest it's been at an Arizona State game in a while, Kory.
Yeah. I can't even tell you the last time that place got that loud. Potentially as loud as what we think it's going to be this coming Saturday. I think Tempe's going to be rocking. It's a night game, so it's giving you that Pac-12 after dark vibe. So Big 12 after dark. that's what we gotta go with now. But yeah, man, I think Utah can't go in that game just thinking, hey, we're gonna walk all over Arizona State. This is gonna be easy. No, I don't think so. Sam Leavitt, he isn't the greatest quarterback in the world, but with a good running game, which they have, with Scatterbo out there, he can get you out and play action. So these are things that Utah has to think about. And I know Coach Dillingham has been, prepping this team all week to try to figure out how to stop Scatterbo and company. But, when they are clicking, they are kind of hard to stop. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I think this week is going to be very telling for Utah if they're trying to squeeze into that 12-team playoff. They gotta win games like this. But if you're Arizona State and you're trying to make a name for yourself this season in the Big 12, this is a big game that you gotta win. You gotta try to get over the hump. If you're Arizona State and win some of these games that maybe people counted you out on. You already took care of an SEC opponent. You went to Texas State. Good quality Texas State team. You didn't get blown out by Texas Tech, and you did take care of Kansas. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in this ball game because, man, like Arizona State becomes 5-1. Hey, we're talking about we're talking about a couple of teams in the Big 12 out there. This Big 12 is about as wide open as any other conference is in college football right now. They're going to be stacked up with the BYUs and the Texas Techs and we'll see what happens with Colorado this coming week. So this is going to be interesting, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, no, it's the Big 12 it's my favorite conference in college football outside of the SEC for a reason, And honestly, I would put it right there with it. It's not the same talent level, but just a wide open, balanced play every weekend. You really do have to bring it because anybody can beat you on any weekend. That rings true in the Big 12.
Yes, it does.
You don't get the seasons BYU and Iowa State are having without that meaning something, without that being the case.
Right.
So yeah, no, I'm right there with you, and I think this is the game that's going to put Arizona State in the top 25. You come away with the win over Utah, you're 5-1. I think you have to put some respect on their name, Kory, and get this team ranked.
Yeah, man. I think the sky's the limit for this Arizona State team. If they can get the job done on Saturday night. So, man, I can't wait. Like I said, I think this is going to be a great game. I think it's going to be a tough physical game. Especially with what these teams have historically brought. I can't wait. I think this is going to be one of those sleeper games, no pun intended. I know this game is going to be later in the evening, but I think this is going to be one of those sneaky good sleeper games that people are going to look back at this week as. So I can't wait. Should be interesting.
I'm with you. I'm right there with you. It is. I will be tuned in.
Mm-hmm.
I will be in attendance on my TV.
Yes. the press box of your couch.
Yes, exactly. Eating on some of the press box wings.
Yeah, there you go.
Or should I say the Wingstop wings that I will be having.
There you go. Exactly. There you go. So yeah, man. Yeah, it should be a good one, partner. And yeah, man, can't wait to watch this game this coming Saturday on ESPN. So, anything else you want to add to this game, Chris, before we move on to the last game that we're going to highlight before we get into Bolton's bets?
No, sir. Let's do it.
All right. Well, this game, Chris, we're going back to the SEC on today's show. One of the biggest games probably this season in the SEC. We're going to have tons of them, but I think if we take the Red River shootout, out of the equation, I think this is going to be one of the premier matchups in the SEC this season. Ole Miss, the Rebels are coming to Baton Rouge, Chris, at night.
At night, you knew we knew this was, as long as these two teams were in the top 15, we knew this was going to be a night game.
Yeah. LSU knew it was going to be a night game. Brian Kelly knew
it was going to be a night game. You darn skipped it.
Exactly. So, man, Saturday night under the lights in Baton Rouge at night, Chris, Ole Miss, LSU, doesn't get any better than that. I can't wait for this ball game. I mean, Vegas has Ole Miss as a 3.5 point favorite. They are looking at Ole Miss as, they're gonna come into Baton Rouge and they're gonna tear the house down on the Tigers. Vegas is pretty bullish right now. So, hey, after what I saw last week, it wasn't the greatest performance offensively for Jackson Dart and the Rebels, but they got it done against South Carolina. Some people can say, maybe there was a little bit of showmanship. I know some people, don't want to speak on some of the, I guess, extracurricular activities that the Rebels do on the football field, Chris. But I'll go ahead and just kind of give the floor to you and elaborate on, what are your thoughts heading into this game this week? Because, I mean, LSU was, been soundly beating people, been keeping their head down, after probably getting embarrassed. I mean, I guess you can say now against USC in the beginning of the season. So, what are your thoughts heading into this matchup between Garrett Nussmeier and Jackson Dart?
Man, this is like you said, this was the game I was referring to earlier. That I feel like is a must win.
Yeah,
for both teams. This is a must win.
Yeah.
Especially for the Rebs, for Ole Miss, after you lose that game to Kentucky, that you felt very confident would be a victory preseason.
You were talking that up as a W.
You were chopping it. You definitely were. They definitely were. And you need this one. On the road in Baton Rouge. This is going to be a fun one. This is the game I'm looking forward to the most this weekend of watching, Kory. Even more so than Ohio State and Oregon. This is the one.
This is the one. This is the one that you go to Wingstop for.
Yes, this is exactly right.
You buy all the wings for this one.
This is the one you get the 20 cal for.
Yep.
Hey, extra ranch. Yep. You know what I'm saying? So this is that game. Oh man. This how I look at it, Kory. LSU definitely has been playing some good football. Mm-hmm. Since you dropped the game, the season opener to USC, and Ole Miss bounced back solidly. Defense was very stout. That South Carolina game last week. That's what you wanted to see. The defense continue to play well. Really put the clamps on South Carolina's offense, and Ole Miss still trying to iron some things out. But South Carolina's group of their defensive players, they're very athletic. That's a very athletic defense, very good pass rushers. So, to get 27 on them, I think it's a good effort. It's a good bounce back effort. I think LSU's defense is kind of sweet. I think there's some things from the LSU USC game to start the year where we could see some of those same problems rear their head in this matchup for LSU. USC is a team that, as we've seen, they pride themselves on their offense, and they exploited some mismatches, and show some things in the LSU secondary that continues to be a problem. And I think Ole Miss has a group, when you look at their receiving core and this offense, that can pose some of the same problems for LSU. And so we're going to learn and we're going to see, just can Jackson Dart do what you need a Heisman quarterback to do? Is he really a Heisman candidate in this game? It's the stage is set for you, Jackson, on the road at LSU. This is your year. This is the team, veteran team. Granted, they have some new pieces, but the core essence of this Ole Miss team has been under Lane Kiffin for a few years now. This is the one, if you're that guy, Jackson Dart, you go out and win. Because LSU's defense really, they have some holes to me. They do. And so I think Ole Miss, I think they find a way and win. I think Jackson Dart is that guy. I really do. I think he's a really good quarterback. I think this team has what it takes. I think they're locked in. I think they had their cage shook. And might, depending, we're going to find out Saturday, maybe getting their cage rattled by Kentucky could be a blessing in disguise, depending on how they come out and play Saturday. I think maybe we're going to see a team, we're going to get Ole Miss's best effort. And I think Ole Miss's best effort is better than LSU's even on the road. So I'm going to go, as crazy as it sounds, because Ole Miss has not won at LSU in eons. In a long time. But this is the year of craziness, Kory. I think that streak is snapped, and I think Ole Miss gets the win over LSU in Baton Rouge.
Oh, wow. I heard earlier this week that, Greg McElroy from ESPN, he mentioned the loser of this game is potentially out of contention in the college football playoff, the 12-team playoff. So, both teams have losses right now, Chris. Whoever loses this game, I have to agree with Greg. I think you're out.
It might be the case. It really might be the case. Yeah. You'll have to play perfect football going forward because LSU still has Bama on the schedule.
Yeah.
Ole Miss still has Georgia on the schedule. They could win those games, but do you want to have to make it to where you got to? I don't think so.
Exactly. So, yeah, man, I just saying, I think I think this game is going to be
It's like the before the playoff era.
Yeah.
Where if you lost the game, it was over with.
This definitely does give you some BCS vibes. It's like, look, you lose this game, you can forget going to the national championship. You can forget doing that. You're not going to playoffs. You lose this game. I'm just letting you know. That's what the computer was letting us know, Chris.
Yeah, you're right. Oh man.
It has a lot at stake. I can't wait till this game, happens. I think this is going to be one of the biggest games in the SEC. One of the most important games of the country that I think everyone's going to be tuning in to watch. I can't wait. It should be a fun game. Man, I think for me, I'm leaning towards Ole Miss figuring it out. As like what you said, I think maybe losing to Kentucky to them was probably a blessing in disguise because they got the loss out the way. But man, there's something a part of me when you play at LSU at night, crazy things happen.
Oh boy.
Crazy things happen. So I can't count out LSU. I'm just going to be real with you. I think LSU will beat Ole Miss 35-28, last minute touchdown to win the ball game. Jackson Dart and company's just going to run out of time. Can't figure it out. And I think LSU will escape at home in conference play against the Rebels.
Yeah, I see this. I see there's some points being put up in this one too. Mm-hmm. Oh man, part of me thinks like Ole Miss could find a way to win by 10. Like they can mess around and win 41-31. I wouldn't be shocked. But then also another part of me is like, this game is going to be like, I have a weird, just good, just a weird feeling. Like it might come down to a last second field goal. It might be Kentucky. It might be Ole Miss Kentucky all over again, where you need a field goal in crunch time. Can Ole Miss get that game winning field goal at Death Valley? Oh man. If it comes down to a field goal at Death Valley for Ole Miss to win, we can go ahead and put that W on LSU side if that's the case.
Yeah.
I don't know too many kickers going to Death Valley and making the game winner. But I'm gonna say Ole Miss wins it. I'm gonna go Ole Miss 41-38.
Okay.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring affair.
I think it is
some
too.
Wacky SEC football.
I think it is too. I think both teams are they're going to put points on the board for sure. But yeah, I don't think. I think the margin of victory is going to be very small at the end.
Yeah. Don't bet on this game. Stay far away. Just sit back and enjoy it for what it is.
Yes. Keep your wallet in your pocket.
Stake in this game. This game is going to be crazy now. The last thing you want is stressing out even more with some money on it.
Exactly. You heard the man. Just don't do it, all right? You know what's good for you. Oh, man. But no, man. I think this is going to be a great game. I can't wait to watch it. This game is going to showcase why going to the 12-team format it just makes for great television. I'm sorry. So yeah, I can't wait.
No, I can't wait either. I'm gonna be glued to this one.
Yes, sir.
Because as much as we talk about Ole Miss really needing it, quiet as kept. Brian Kelly, for his LSU resume, needs this game too.
He does.
They expect big things at LSU.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Kelly is a coach that coached for a national championship. When you get a guy of his pedigree at your school, and you don't feel like you've yet to meet the standard, you need to win games like this to meet said standard. And you had a national championship offense last year, but a terrible defense.
Yeah.
You need to right your wrongs this season and win games like this. So I'll just put it like this: just like how Alabama fans say we don't lose to Vandy, LSU fans will tell you we don't lose to Ole Miss at home. They'll tell you that, right? You know what I'm saying? No matter what ranking Ole Miss is, LSU fans will tell you we don't lose to Ole Miss at home.
Yeah.
So you better not lose to Ole Miss at home, Brian Kelly.
Look, that's written on the school. That's written on the message boards. That's written everywhere. That's probably written somewhere in Brian Kelly's house. You do not lose to Ole Miss at home in Baton Rouge.
Nope.
Sign LSU fans. And boosters.
Everybody say sign the state of Louisiana. Yeah, exactly. So this is a win. Like we said, not only is it a must-win playoff-wise, this is a must-win program-wise for both programs and what you're trying to accomplish and what you're trying to be recognized as. Ole Miss, for a lot of people, are pretenders, not because of the talent, but because it's Ole Miss. So you got to change your perception of how people view you and win this game. And LSU, you want people to continue to look at you as LSU, so you got to win this game. So this is just cinema.
It's the perfect storm. This is what your boy say. This is cinema.
can't write a better script. You
No,
can't.
you can't.
This is what we love college football for. So this is where the rubber meets the road, Kory.
Yes.
This is the game.
Yep. Not to be confused with the game in the Big Ten in Michigan. But no,
although
man.
This might be more of a game than that one this year.
Yeah, when you put it that way. When you put it that way, I think you're right. Unfortunately. Oh man, but yeah, man, I can't wait. 6:30 p.m. kickoff game on ESPN and ABC. So, man, I'm ready. I'm ready. It's a big slate of games this week, Chris, and yeah, man, not enough screens. That's all I can say.
At all. It's gonna be your TV is gonna be put to work. Laptops, iPad, cell phone. You might as well go to Buffalo Wild Wings, honestly. If you try to see all of them, unless you got about 6 streaming devices at your disposal, just go ahead and take it to B-Dubs.
Yep. No, you're right, man. You're right. Well, anything else, sir, you want to add to this game before we move on to Bolton's bets?
Oh no, sir. Nothing else I can say. I'm gonna let the game do the rest of the talking.
All right. Well, now everyone, we are about to head to Bolton's bets. You know that segment, the segment where Chris, lets everyone know, how they can put a little extra money in their pocket. Can you hit the parlay this week? What can you do to, maximize your dollars in your wallet this week? So, Chris, I'm going to, give the floor to you, good sir. Let the people know what games you have on the slate this week.
Yeah, we did go 3-0 last week, despite it being trap week. We stayed away from the mouse traps and put our eyes elsewhere, and ended up going 3-0. So we're gonna try to keep the momentum going. And to start things off, got a matchup that looks like it could be a trap game. It's going to be a tough matchup. I really like what this team is doing. Iowa State, the 11th ranked Cardinals. The Cyclones, 11th ranked Iowa State Cyclones going on the road to West Virginia. 3-point favorites over the Mountaineers. I think the Cyclones get the win and they cover. Iowa State is for real. Iowa State, this team we've been talking about even in the off season. It's a veteran group, really hit the transfer portal well. Guys like Jaden Higgins and how he's been stepping up at wide receiver for them. EKU transfer. I think Iowa State has what it takes to win the Big 12, and going to West Virginia will be tough. But this is a group that's built for it, and I believe will get the win and cover. Another big matchup in the Big 12. I'm playing with fire here a little bit, looking at a couple of Big 12 matchups. Kansas State, 18th ranked Wildcats, taking on the Buffs at Colorado, 10-15. Colorado feeling good, feeling great after the win against UCF.
Just put a whooping
Buffs
up
had a
on
week
them.
off. Yeah, everything came together. Really, everything came together for Colorado. That was not an outcome I don't think anybody was expecting.
Nah, I know I wasn't expecting.
You're right. I wasn't either. But I think Kansas State will bring Colorado back down to reality a bit. The spread is Kansas State's only 3.5-point favorites. I think Vegas is sipping some of the Colorado Kool-Aid with them getting that win over UCF on the road. But the Wildcats are a physical team. They punish you on the D-line and the O-line. And if we know anything about Colorado, that's been their Achilles heel. That's where they struggle at, is in the trenches. So I expect Kansas State to try to punish his team. Avery Johnson is going to run for at least 100 yards. I think he'll be a key factor on the ground for Kansas State. And I think they're going to and just inflict their will, just dominate Colorado. And so I think Kansas State covers. They get the win on the road, keep their hopes of winning the Big 12 alive. And then also, it's a late night slate for us, Kory. We attacking all the night games, and this one is even later than Kansas State and Colorado. Boise at Hawaii, 11 p.m. Eastern Time kickoff in Honolulu. Boise, 20.5-point favorites. Hey man, Ashton Giancy, amazing. And this Boise State offense is prolific. They put up points. And I think it continues even all the way in Honolulu, Hawaii. Give me Boise to cover. I know 20.5 is a lot, but Hawaii, it's not a good team. This isn't Colt Brennan's Hawaii, Kory. You know, this ain't those days.
Those were good days, though.
Those are great days.
But it's not today's.
Not today. Exactly. It's Ashton time. It's Giancy time. So, yeah, give me Boise State to cover and for Ashton to run for 204 TDs.
Nice. That's gonna happen, you know.
Hey, you can put a bet on that too for him to run for 200. He's probably gonna get that in this game as well.
Oh yeah,
a couple touchdowns.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, he's a freak. He's a freak. And I think Boise just rides into the promised land.
Yeah, man. I haven't seen a weakness from this man yet. He has showed you from a week-to-week basis, Chris, that he is willing to lift his whole team above his shoulders and take them to a victory week to week. It's fun to watch.
It's amazing to watch. He has no problem doing it, and man, we all get to watch him late night too. You know, flip back and forth between Colorado and K-State in this game, see what Ashton is up to. So yeah, I'm gonna be tuned in, and I expect him to continue to put up Heisman numbers. Kind of like when Reggie Bush was playing at USC late night, you just had to go ahead and stay up late and see what Reggie was gonna do. You're going to do the same with Ashton because he's like that.
Yeah, man. It's definitely gonna be interesting to see Giancy and what he can do this week, because man, every week it's always fun to watch him run the rock. So yeah, man. Now we gotta see if he can make it to that 2,000 yard mark for this season, because we know he can.
I think he will. Don't even worry about that. As long as he stays healthy, he's hitting 2K.
Oh man, I can't wait, man. Just watching him, he's one of the most electric football players in college football right now. So, you know, him and Travis Hunter from Colorado, you know, their seats are already cemented for this year's Heisman Trophy Award ceremony. So yeah, man, I can't wait to see both of those guys in New York. You can't count them out, journalists. If you gotta vote, you gotta put these two gentlemen in. So if not, I'm gonna be highly disappointed. But you gotta do it. Oh man. So yeah, man. So those are all of your games this week.
Yes, sir. We're gonna keep the slate light. 3-game parlay.
All right.
Just I guess I have one more that I feel very confident about.
Yeah. Please enlighten us.
Just one more game. Just Texans, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Texas covers, but the only thing that just made me put as a lock is the fact it's a rivalry game, Kory. And you understand this rivalry. Weird things happen in these games, man.
Yes, they do.
You saw the Caleb Williams game.
Yeah.
You understand why wacky stuff happens. Yeah, everything's looking great. Then all of a sudden, the backup, who's a 5-star recruit, comes in and plays the game of his life.
Yep.
You know, it's just anything can happen in this matchup. Despite on paper, it looks like Texas should dominate.
Mm-hmm.
But I do feel very confident that Texas will dominate. I don't see no Caleb Williams on Oklahoma this year. So Texas should come away with the win. They should come.
Yeah. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. But yeah, man, I think this is going to be one heck of a rivalry game. And yeah, I do think Texas should be able to cover in this game. So it's the reason why we play the games, Chris.
Yeah, you're right. And any given Saturday, anything can happen. Evidence last weekend, so we'll see. Those are the 4 that I will give you for Bolton's bets.
Nice.
There's a couple games I just feel like we got to mention real quick, just because it's only right. Florida and Tennessee. I'm not saying this is not part of Bolton's bets. It's just me and you talking, Kory.
Yeah.
A lot more interesting game this weekend than what we anticipated before.
Look, I'm going to say this. I was contemplating on putting this game in the slate. I know people have been looking at Florida, trying to, bounce back, trying to get on the right train tracks, Chris. And, and can they do it? I mean, honestly, they can. Yeah, I mean, maybe, the Florida faithful have been a little bit, over zealous with, trying to, get Billy Napier up out of Gainesville. But, it's one of those.
He could potentially save his job.
He could.
With the win in this game.
He could. Can you imagine they win that ball game and that one Billy Napier hater? Every team has that one guy which I just don't understand why he's here. He's just gonna be just livid. Like, he gotta live with this guy another season, another recruiting class. Cause they're not gonna let him go after beating the number 8 team in the country, and that team being Tennessee. Oh my God!
Tennessee. Oh yeah. They're
gonna make this man some buttermilk biscuits after the game, man.
They gonna eat that up. They will. If he can get this win over Tennessee, oh boy, that'll be huge. Huge. Yeah. I'm not overshadowing. This is an interesting weekend of SEC football.
It is.
Because we also have Mississippi State at Georgia.
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy, but this is also a more compelling game than what we anticipated. Not by any means saying Mississippi State's going to beat Georgia, but they did put up a great game, a great fight, better effort than the world expected against Texas, at Texas.
Yeah.
Georgia has had its struggles. The Kentucky game. Of course, Alabama is Alabama, but maybe there's a little chink in Georgia armor. Maybe it's going to end up being a better game than what people expect. Yeah. I don't know. I know Georgia's 34-point favorites, but hey, Texas was a huge favorite too, and and Mississippi State ended up, sticking tough with them. So I'll keep my eye out on that one, and then the most underrated, I think, overlooked game of the weekend, because the winner of this game, I think, Kory, has its eyes in the top 25. Vanderbilt at Kentucky.
Now that's a game. That's a game you get up for.
Man, if you are a college football enthusiast, a lover of college football, you know what's going on with both of these teams, and so whoever wins this one, I think it's going to be in the top 25, and maybe let's just look at Vanderbilt's schedule real quick. Let's just see what's going on with them, because
let's do
it. If they beat Kentucky at Kentucky, oh man, they have a tough schedule ahead. Texas, LSU, and Tennessee. At least you get Texas and Tennessee at home. You got to go to LSU. Hey man, it's look if they win this game, the winner of this game could potentially win 9 games this year.
Mm-hmm.
Not outside the realm of possibility. You beat Kentucky. You're 4-2. You play Texas. Ooh, but you get Texas at home. You have all the right games at home in your SEC schedule this year.
Yeah.
You beat Bama at home. Can you pull off something wild again and beat Texas at home? You're potentially looking at making the college football playoff. I'm just saying, it's not. If you can win 9 games as Vanderbilt and as Kentucky and possibly make your way in that top 12, Kory. I don't know how you feeling, but it's not impossible.
Look, it's not impossible.
What are your thoughts?
It's not impossible. Okay. Look, though. Look, I will never count out these doctors, these nurses at Vanderbilt. I will not do that. They find ways. They will surgically repair you throughout the whole game. I won't count them out. They know what they're doing.
And same thing goes to Kentucky. You had, we'll just say it was just a fluke game against South Carolina. Like, we don't know what happened that game. But Georgia was a tough 13-12 scrap. Then you put it together and you claw your way to victory against Ole Miss at Ole Miss. You beat Vandy. You look at the schedule. If you potentially take care of business and beat your Florida, beat your Auburn, beat your Murray State, win the rivalry game against Louisville at home, all you got to do is split. Just win one of those 2 at Tennessee, at Texas. You win one of those 2, Kory, and take care of business against the other teams. I think we're talking about Kentucky as a top 12 team in at large bid in the playoff. I'm just saying. So, hey, it's an underrated matchup because this keeps hope alive for both of these teams to really have a season that we didn't anticipate them having nationally. We like Kentucky going into this season. I don't think the nation had any expectations for Kentucky this year.
No. I think once they lost that South Carolina game, a lot of people had already, threw out, their thoughts on Kentucky earlier this season. But, hey, they fought back. They had that close game against Georgia. They beat Ole Miss. Maybe there's something there. This still is a good quality team. I mean, me and you talk about Kentucky behind the scenes. So, we'll see what happens. But this is going to be an interesting ball game. Hey, if they can beat a Vandy that's, they certainly are a better squad than past seasons. That's definitely something you can get over the hump on. So, no more Vandy being like an easy, sure win for people. I mean, you got to come out and play. So we'll see.
Yeah, we will. There's all these SEC teams, man, keeping hope alive to try to crash the party this year. Because I feel like we reference it so much, Kory. It does give you 07 vibes, and it's such a wide open season. Like every weekend, anything can happen in every and any matchup.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right, man. So, yeah. I can't wait, man. This is a big week 7 in college football. And, I think it's going to be a fun one for sure, Chris. But yeah, man. Great talking football with you as always, my brother.
Yes, sir.
We're definitely going to be discussing it this weekend. I know the storm has settled. But a new storm is coming.
And that storm brewing. It hit on Saturday.
Yes, it will hit a lot of college teams on Saturday. with potential losses and crazy things happening in the playoff landscape now in the world of college football. But yeah, man, it's going to be a great one, great weekend coming up, and yeah, we're definitely going to be talking about it. But before we head out of here today, Chris, outros. Let the good people know where they can find you on social media.
Yeah, so I can find me on Twitter at Chris_Bolton_12. You can also find me on Instagram at Chris.Bolton_. Holla at your boy.
Nice. Well, yeah, y'all can find me also on X as well at Listen to KSW, all one handle. I'm on there talking college football, video game news, professional wrestling. So yeah, be sure to catch me on there. But yeah, everyone, we appreciate you guys listening to the show as always. Like I said, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the show on any streaming platform that you prefer. It definitely helps us with the show, helps us know what we're doing and how we can improve the show for the future for you guys. But yeah, we very much appreciate you guys listening to the show. We'll be back with another episode coming up this Monday, going on over everything that happened in week 7 of the college football season. So be sure to tune into that. But until next time, I'm Kory Willis. He is Chris Bolton. You are listening to the Breakdown Sportscast. We'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Peace.